Now, for the purpose of this video, I'm going to talk in a New York accent because I think it's going to add to the drama a little bit more, and it's going to add a little bit more flavor to the story that I want to tell you guys tonight. So, as the title suggests, hey white boy, yeah, I'm talking to you. I was greeted with those words tonight when I came out of getting a lovely meal with my wife from a restaurant on one of these avenues coming off Broadway. Now, when I came out, I was greeted with a particular hustle that I've been exposed to once before. Back in 2007 was my first ever experience in New York City, that is. And I was exposed to the hustle that is a couple of guys come up to you and they put pressure on you. They put a music label in your hand. They put a CD. Back then in 2007, it was a CD. Tonight it was a little different, but they put a CD back in my hand in 2011, and they signed the CD, and they insist on the passive sort of threat of violence that you buy the CD off them or make some sort of contribution to their independent label, that they're up and coming, promising artists, whatever, yada yada yada. You know the drill. So anyway, I've been here in New York for almost 10 days now, and I haven't had any confrontations at all until tonight. And like I said, I come out of this nice meal, I have a good meal with my wife, a nice establishment, all is well, and I walk out and I hear, hey white boy, and I look up and the guy crossing the road, he says, yeah, I'm talking to you. Anyway, so he comes across the road to me, he starts talking to myself and my wife. He says to me, where you from? I say, I'm from Australia. He says, who's this? Pointing to my wife. And he says, that your bodyguard? And straight away, he's starting to play the intimidator role, okay? Now, physically, this guy was a reasonably big guy. No bigger than probably 225, 230 pounds, thereabouts. Pretty similar to me. Anyway, so he does his usual thing. He gets his thing out. It's no longer a CD. This time it's some nonsense little piece of plastic with some pictures on it of him and a QR code that he wants me to scan. And he starts fast talking me. Like, I'm standing there listening to his thing. I know exactly what's going on. I've seen this in 2007. Back in 2007, I fell for it, and I coughed up the money because I didn't know how to get out of that situation without ending in some place I didn't want to be. But this time around, I knew what was going on, and look, I played it a little differently tonight. What I did, when he started fast talking to me, he started telling me about his up-and-coming record label, and he started telling me all these little things, and he gets to his punchline where he's like, I now need you to just basically throw some donations towards this label, man, because you've got my signature on this thing. This is going to be worth a lot, and I can't take this back. You gotta take it. You gotta pay me. I straight away said to him, man, look, you take these back. And by the way, a second guy came up because he thought I was one of those easy catches. He thought, oh no, look, there's a fish on the line over here. I'm gonna come up and shove my record label in his face too. So I got two guys in my face shoving record labels, and my wife standing next to me. And I straight away, I listened to the spiel, okay? I give them the full time of day. I didn't walk away. I didn't try to ignore eye contact with them. I got plenty of eye contact. And the table started to turn when I asked them a question for the first time. I said, so what do you do? You're an independent record label or something? Like, you're an independent artist? I said, are you successful? You're making money? And he said, yeah, man, I'm making heaps of money. I'm a kick-ass dude. Like, this is my jam. And I said to him, okay, man, well, look, what I can do for you, instead of me giving you a couple of bucks tonight, how about you and I go live on my Instagram? I got a fair big following here, and I reckon I could give you more value by simply promoting you. And I said, I'm a professional arm wrestler, and I put my hand out at that point in time. Now, when I put my hand out at that point in time, he gripped it. He gripped my hand, and I gave him my hand. When I say I gave him my hand, I gave him my hand. You know what I mean? Like, as an arm wrestler, we have strong hands. I get used to gripping people with strong hands all the time. I know what a strong hand feels like, and I know what a normal hand feels like. This guy's hand was very normal. Let me just say that. His hand was normal, and my hand, I made sure my hand was in a very strong, very rigid position, which, I mean, it's always in that. When I greet people, that's always the condition that I'm in. But anyway, this time tonight, I made a little extra special effort to just put some rigidity through my hand. And I said to him, look, I held his hand, and I said, I'm a professional arm wrestler. I said, I can give you a big shout out. How about we go live right now on my Instagram? You tell me your Instagram. And all of a sudden, his tone changed. He said to me, dude, I ain't got time on Instagram. I didn't do none of that shit. And he said, I ain't fucking with you no more. And I said, what's going on, man? What do you want to go live or what? Let's do this. I said, you want to feel the power in the arm wrestle? And I tried to encourage him to try to pull with me. He didn't pull with me. He didn't want nothing to do with it. But you know, all of this experience was very interesting to me. I have to say, I've never been someone in my lifetime, I've never been someone who has had enough physicality to actually come across as a potential threat to somebody. Now, I'm a nice guy. I know I'm a nice guy. I know I don't have an energy about me that says anything but I'm a nice guy. And I think that's why he approached me in the first place. I don't come across as somebody who's brash. I don't come across as a violent man. I don't come across as anyone other than a nice guy. To people who've never met me before, that's the impression they get. So he came up to me thinking that, but this was the first time in my life I've been in a position where my strength and my potential for violence, because of what he's unknown. He didn't know who I am deep down. He didn't know if I'm a maniac and I'm gonna lash out all of a sudden. But when he touched my hand, things changed. He could feel rigidity through my hand that he didn't have. He could feel rigidity through my elbow, through my arm that he didn't have by a long way. And he didn't want anything to do with it anymore. So I don't know which factor it was that made him turn. Was it the rigidity through my hand? Was it me asking him if he was successful? Was it me offering, look man, let's go live on my Instagram instead? Because I ain't interested in these things. Yeah, but anyway, it was an interesting story. Like I said, the first time in my life, I've had an experience like that. I've been here in New York for almost 10 days now. No dramas anywhere at all. And tonight was the first time. It's my last night in New York. I fly home tomorrow. Last night in New York, and this happens. An old con that happened to me back in 2007. Like I said, I fell for it back then, but I didn't fall for it tonight, and I went away very happy. Like I said, I'm not a violent man, but the potential for violence in a man that is good is a good thing. We see it talked about all the time. A man should be strong. A man should have the capability of being violent and very capable in that respect. Now, he didn't know my ability as a fighter. He didn't know anything about me. He just felt my hand and went, I don't want anything to do with trying to calm this guy anymore. So moral of the story, guys, get strong, keep arm wrestling, and you'll keep those scam artists out of here.